Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Abby. If you are new here, welcome. Today I'm going to be doing a little first impressions demo review on brushes like this that I got on Amazon. These are dupes for the Artis brushes, which are very popular but also very expensive. So I'm going to be testing these out. I have used them before, but I don't honestly remember if I liked them or if I didn't like them. They've just been in my makeup collection where I haven't really been using them. So I wanted to try them out again today and let you guys know if I think that they are worth the money. They were only $10 and I got them in a pack of 10 different brushes, which all look like this, which is such a good deal compared to the Artis brushes. They also came in like a lot of different sizes and shapes, so whatever you need, there's a purpose for these brushes. I really just wanted to test them out today, do a demo of the actual foundation applying on my face, see if it leaves streaks, see if it uses a lot of product, just how it goes onto the skin, see if I like these overall or if you should just go ahead and save your $10. So I'm going to be putting these brushes to the test in the most various ways I can. We're going to be trying to do my whole entire face with all of these brushes to see if I like it or if I would rather just use a regular brush that we're all used to. So to get started today, I'm going to be going in with this post-shave balm from Nivea. This stuff is really awesome. It's really just going to hydrate my skin and create a nice hydrated smooth base for whenever we put on our foundation. So I'm going to be using my Wet n Wild Cover All foundation today. This is in Fair Light, and on this side I'm going to go ahead and apply the foundation straight onto my face just in dots and then use the brush to blend it out. And then on the other side I think I'm going to try putting on the brush and seeing if that works better or just what happens whenever I do it differently. One thing I have heard, I've never actually tried the Artis brushes, but I have heard that a little product goes a long way. So I'm going to try to see if that's also the case with this brush technique. Okay, so I scooted you guys a little bit closer so you guys can see if this leaves any brush marks or anything like that. I'm taking the biggest brush, which is, this is really big. This could get your face done very quickly if it works. So I'm just going to start by smoothing this in. It doesn't necessarily feel like it's hurting my skin, like it's not hurting my skin to move obviously, but it does feel like it is a little tuggy on my skin. So that's something that you should be like aware of and very careful of whenever you're doing your makeup, because you don't want to tug at your skin too much every single day, especially if you are doing this every single day. You don't want it to pull at your skin. So after I've smoothed that out, it doesn't look streaky. So right here on my skin, I feel like it looks really nice, but I feel like in some areas it's not doing the best of job. Like on my forehead, I feel like it actually moved the product away rather than blending it in and making my skin look really flawless. But I feel like right here, just on the center of my cheek, looks really awesome. There's not a lot of creasing around my nose, but I mean, this is a huge brush. I'm sure I could go in with a smaller one. Just using this, it is really hard to get into that crevice like around your nose area. I'm going to apply just a little bit more on my forehead and just put it straight on the brush this time, just to see if I can get that product to stay on my forehead this time. Another thing is maybe it would be better to switch to a smaller one. I'm actually going to try that, but the way that this brush is, it is really large, which is making it a little bit more difficult, I think, just to hold it and blend out your face products and everything. So I'm going to switch to this one, which is a little bit smaller. We're going to see how this works. I'm going to go ahead and do the other side now, and I'm going to apply it straight onto the brush, just like that. You do see the product sitting on top of the brush, which is, I think, another thing about the oval brushes that a lot of people like, is that it doesn't actually soak in the product. It just moves it around on your face. So I do see that happening with this as well. This is kind of leaving more streaks, though, I feel. There's a lot more coverage on this side, and it didn't spread as far, so I think that it's best if you actually put this foundation on your face before you blend it out, and then blend it out with the brush rather than applying it to the brush and then putting it on your face. Okay, I do not like this size at all for foundation. I don't know if it will be better for like cream contour or something like that, but I do not like that for foundation. I think the bristles on this little smaller one are too short this way, so they don't give enough flexibility to really blend in the product. It was kind of just making it more streaky on my face. I'm not hating this at all. I think that this is taking me a lot longer than a regular foundation brush though, but it feels really nice. This is so smooth on my skin. I'm gonna get really close to my mirror and like let you know what's going on. Okay, so I actually think that this brush applied this very nicely. And I'm kind of mad I haven't been using this at all. Like, I've had these for 9 months now probably, and I've never even tried them. So far, I think that this is actually really, really beautiful. So far, there's no streaks. It provided a pretty nice coverage. I don't think that it gave me as much coverage as like using my beauty blender. I always find that for some reason I get more coverage using my beauty blender. I feel like whenever I want a full coverage, I go to my beauty blender, but I do think that this gave me a really nice finish. This foundation, by the way, if you guys are wondering about this foundation, I haven't used this in a while either, but it is looking really good, and it's like completely drying down to more of a powder consistency, which I love because I normally set my face with some sort of powder, but this doesn't feel like it would come off at all. Like, it feels pretty good. With that being said, I'm going to move on to cream contour and see how this blends out. I'm going to be using Maybelline Fit Me in the shade Cafe. This is going to be warm on my skin, just warning you. This is going to be a little bit warm, but I want to see how it blends out like a cream product. Okay, so for this, I'm going to try to go back in with that little smaller brush. This is the second biggest in the group. And I'm just going to start by actually blending upwards. That way, if things go awry, just kind of go back into my hair. So I'm going to start by maybe tapping this out a little bit to kind of blend it. And then I'm going to go in circular motions back. That actually did such a good job of blending out. I know the color's a little bit off. I will say that, like, this isn't fast by any means. I feel like I'm having to work with it and like go very slowly with it and make sure I'm applying the product in the perfect spot to blend out. Don't think it's like any faster, but it's not necessarily hard either. It's just like you have to focus on where your brush placement is because it is different than a normal brush that you're used to. Okay, so guys, I'm so sorry I look like an Oompa Loompa right now, but as far as this brush is performing, I think it did a good job. I am going to next try some concealer. So I'm going to be going in with my Wet n Wild concealer, and this is in the shade Medium Light. I'm going to be using the third biggest shade. So I think that these three right here are made for your face. By the way, guys, this pack does come with 10. I only have a 9 here. I'm not sure what happened to my other one. So maybe there's like a middle one right here, maybe. I'm not sure what happened to it, but these get the job done. So I can give you guys at least some input. But I'm going to then take the third largest that I have, and I am going to start blending out this concealer. Also, this will clean up that crazy contour. Okay, so right off the bat, this is a little big for underneath your eyes. I'm going in like short motions because I don't want to like tug my eyes too much. That is one thing I am noticing pretty badly with this. It's just that these brushes tug at your skin. Then I'm just going to pop on a little bit of this Maybelline concealer. I did not expect that to be so much. So right off the bat, just right then, I don't know if the product just hadn't set yet fully or like dried down at all, because whenever I very first went in, this started streaking. That's interesting. Okay, so right now, this product that I just put on the second layer is definitely more liquidy in consistency than this Wet n Wild concealer was, and I think that that definitely created more streaks. So the liquidier the consistency, I think that you are gonna get some sort of streaking going on. Okay, so I am going to finish off this makeup, the face portion of it. I'm just going to pop on some powder, some blush, some bronzer, and then we'll be back because I want to test out some of these eyeshadow brushes and see if they apply eyeshadow well, maybe do a lip, something like that, just so I can give you guys a better spectrum of all the brushes. Okay, so I just finished the rest of my face makeup. If you guys are wondering, I used this bronzer just lightly over the top of it. This is in the NYC Sunny Bronzer. And then over the top of that, I went in with this blush from e.l.f. and this is the Peachy Cheeks blush. I love this. This is more like a blush topper just because it adds that sheen to my face that you see. So really, really love this, but it is a little bit shimmery and shiny, but I don't mind. It looks really pretty on the skin. And then over the top of that, which you guys like see this beaming, like kind of iridescent purpley shade highlighter. This is from Makeup Revolution, and this is the Baked Highlighter Powder in Radiant Light. Consider like my Cupid's bow and the tip of my nose. This stuff is really, really blinding, but really pretty, especially if you have fair skin. This is beautiful. I wanted to show you guys a little bit more of how these brushes work. So in this set, you do get 3 brushes like this in that little little 10 pack, and I'm going to be taking the shortest one right here. I'm just going to use like a brown powder eyeshadow. This is just from my Morphe palette, just any brown shadow, but I wanted to see if I could maybe fill in my eyebrows lightly with this. So I'm going to start on the tail end. One good thing is that this seems really thin, so that is good. I feel like it would actually not be too bad for filling in your brows. Okay, it kind of feels like I'm brushing my brows at the same time. Like I'm just combing them. Okay, so I definitely think that this brush is a really good thing if you have more fuller brows and you just need to kind of thicken things up a little bit like I do. I don't really have like super brows that I need to draw on by any means. So I think that this is actually a pretty good little brush for that. That worked pretty well. I think I'm happy with them. They still look really natural, but just nice and full. So I did actually like that brush for that. For my eyeshadow today, I'm going to be going in with these brushes right here. These are more a round shape, and I really don't know how this is going to work. I'm going to try to blend in circular motions and see how this works. So I'm just going to be picking up a medium tone brown shade, just any transition shade. You guys know the drill. And I'm going to start on the outer corner, and I'm going to lightly work it in circular motions. So I do think that this is very easy to keep this brush like in your crease because it kind of fits like right in there. So I do think that is a good factor from this. But I think it is kind of hard to blend out into your crease. So I'm going to use like this smaller one and kind of just run it back and forth over that color to see if it blends out a little better. Okay, so I'm having more trouble blending out this side for sure. Then I'm just going to pop on this e.l.f. Liquid eyeshadow in the shade Brush Copper. I like to put this on the inner portion of my lid and right on the lid itself. And this just adds a little bit of dimension and brings my eyes more open in the center and everything. So I'm just gonna lightly tap that out just using my finger. And that's all I'm gonna do for my eyelids today. I'm actually just gonna pop on a little bit of this mascara just so I don't look completely naked on the eyelashes. And for the final brush test, I'm going to be using this Liquid Catsuit by Wet n Wild. I'm going to be taking the shade Berry Recognize, and I'm going to apply this to the back of my hand. And then I'm going to be going in with one of these round brushes that I kind of used on my eyes. I'm going to dip the product in, and I'm going to see how this applies lipstick. So as you guys can see, that just kind of applied the color very roughly. It was really hard to make like a precise line with that. So I'm going to be going back in with that smallest little brush, and I'm just going to clean up the edges. Yeah, this is much better already. Okay, so as you guys can see me like doing this, forewarning, this is a lot harder than it looks. These bristles right here are not like staying together in the center, so I'll be going over the line and like one little bristle is out of place and it's like creating a line around my lips. So I'm not a fan of this for lipstick. Neither of those brushes really impressed me. I didn't really like that. I feel like I need to clean up my lips a ton now. I don't like this for lipstick. Okay, so now that I have finished my whole entire face using these brushes, I wanted to just kind of recap my thoughts, and like now that I've gotten up close to the mirror and like seeing how this makeup looks, I wanted to let you guys know what I think. So overall, this is my very favorite brush. This is the largest. It is just not as dense as all the other ones. It's flexible. It really blends out the foundation, doesn't leave any sort of streakiness. I think that I really do like this, but I will say it's not any faster than my normal brush. I feel like I can get my makeup done a lot faster just using like my e.l.f. Ultimate Blending Brush like this. I think this is just more practical to stamp it all over your face and go out the door. So this is not something that's going to make your makeup routine more time efficient. They are so soft and I really like that aspect. So if you do just want to purchase one of these brushes, I know that they do sell this one brush for like $2, maybe not even that. So this is something to totally check out if you guys are interested in these Artis brush styled brushes. This is actually a really good one. I do think that my makeup looks really nice on my skin. I do think that these two brushes that I use, they're just not as blendable as this one is. These are just a little bit more densely packed. For concealer, I'm not a big fan, but I do really love the foundation brush. If you just need to spruce up your brows a little bit and add a little bit of thickness, I do think that this worked pretty well, but this is in no way going to give you nice, sharp, defined, clean brows. Even if I had used a brow pomade, this would not have done that for me. This is just like a little bit too thick on the end. Like, I don't know how to explain it because it's not like the whole row is thick. It's literally like the row is thin, but then there's like little bristles that go off to the sides and stuff, and that did not work at all. As far as eyeshadow, using these round ones for my eyeshadow and then even going back in with this one and blending things out, it did an okay job. Like, it did blend them, but not as well at all as like just using a regular makeup brush. So I don't think that that was like a selling point. So overall, my whole conclusion, I just think that the biggest brush was definitely the winner in this set, because I don't feel like the other brushes do as well of a job as just using a normal brush. So I recommend this one, but I think that you can pass on the whole set as a whole. That's just my opinion. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching this video. If you guys have any recommendations for new videos coming up, just leave them down in the comment box. I love hearing from you guys and knowing what you guys want. I really appreciate it. So don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you in my next video. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.